Good morning, Facebook. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Stepback Ballers Life podcast. It's your host, Leon Tompkins, and my main man, Jacob Moses.
Go.
I got my sanitizer ready because we are about to get dirty.
That's Corona.
I'm telling you. How you feeling this morning?
I'm good. Conference play is March Madness actually officially started. It's a lot of parity in here. I love it. Let's see where it goes. Hopefully Duke takes it all away though, so I can talk a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Since 2015, I'm ready to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to block you for a few weeks after that.
Oh yeah, hold that L. By the way.
Well, I mean, Cole Anthony, it's like a one-man show. But we got a lot of things to discuss. We got the conference tournaments coming up. Knicks nonsense, Nets nonsense. Spike Lee, Kenny Atkinson got a lot of dish and dirt going down. Steph Curry come back and he's out with an illness. That's why I got my sanitizer ready.
Oh man.
So yeah, you got to. So we're gonna jump right into the college conference tournaments. We're gonna start up over the next week. We're gonna try to promote a CBS Sports bracket where you can interact with the group with 6 conferences: ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12, and the Big East. Hopefully we can give you some insight, let you take some picks before we get into our big bracket for the NCAA tournament where you can win some money, invite your friends, and get a pool going. More brackets you get, higher the pool, win yourself some money. I'm all about money. How about you?
Absolutely. Who isn't? We're not talking money. What we're talking about?
Nothing. So we're gonna jump right in with the ACC. You got the Duke nonsense on. Yeah, they picked up a win last night over Carolina.
Yes.
Trey Jones, Vernon Carey doing their thing. Gonna take a quick look at the bracket. 1 second. Here we go. I thought I had it.
Well, you probably know, guys, who my pick is going to be anyway. I mean, yes, I'm going to be biased, very biased.
Here we go.
I think, Duke is not going to run away. It's going to be a lot of tough games, but I think Duke is going to actually pull it out. With that 22 shellacking we got by NC State. I mean, we won the last 8 and 9. One of the only 3 teams to have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. It doesn't show it sometimes, but other than Kansas and San Diego State, we're that other team. Vernon Carey, kid's been awesome. 17-8, 34.3 efficiency rating. My guy Trey Jones, leading team, his defensive play and his leadership is needed. It was needed. And plus he's become a playmaker. 6 assists per game. I love that. If Stanley can step it up, we'll be looking good.
Yeah, Cassius Stanley is a good third option on that team. Vernon Carey, he dominates the paint in a way no other in the conference. Taking a look at the bracket here, Duke has a double bye, so they're the 4th seed. Looks like in the first round here we got Wake Forest and Pitt, Virginia Tech and Carolina.
It's gonna be good.
See, the thing about college, the college game, either one player can dominate the game, or you got to have a high percentage from the 3-point range. North Carolina, I believe, has that player in Cole Anthony. They were injured most of the season with Garrison Brooks. He could play in the paint, catch a lot of rebounds. I think he can catch 3 or 4 wins and maybe run away in this tournament. Cole Anthony is the guy that the team scout on. He can take over a game, but
Mm-hmm.
he has been struggling lately with his decision making. I believe partly due to the fact that there's really been no help on the team.
Yeah,
Uh,
I definitely
I,
agree with that one.
I like Carolina in that bracket if I was as a sleeper, a little bit of bias, but I like Carolina as a sleeper in that bracket. I have Virginia winning the tournament, second ranked defense in the league,
As usual.
two veterans, two seniors on the team, and Diakite and Jay Huff. Kihei Clark is a pro ready guard.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots space to floor. He dishes well, and Diakite having been there before, and the defending champs. I have a hunch that they're just going to run away in this tournament and catch fire as they usually do around this time.
Yeah, they definitely are a really good defensive team, and for the past, past what 20, they just seem they have those their pesky defense, and their shooters. They
Yeah,
always have at least 3 shooters on the squad, but everybody plays defense, and their coaches always done a really good job with it. And I can see it, but star power wins a lot of the time, and I think Duke actually has it.
yeah. I like Louisville as well in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Nwara, he's a 6'7" guard, 6'7" forward, ready to shoot, catch and shoot guy, NBA ready,
Mm-hmm.
long defender. He can play three well. David Johnson sets them up pretty well. Also, uh, Clemson, they have wins against Florida State, Duke, and Louisville. Tevin Mack, he's
Mm-hmm.
consistent from 3-point range. If there were any sleepers you want to pick up on, Clemson, Louisville, I believe Louisville and Duke are in that same bracket. So
Mm-hmm.
I, I would take Louisville over Duke. I have a Virginia uh, Louisville matchup with Virginia taking it all.
That's very good. I'm taking it. Definitely good. But you never know with the ACC. It's always the best conference. Battles between North Carolina, Duke,
Mm-hmm.
Louisville, Virginia. There's so many teams can go so many ways. I'm looking forward to it. Win or lose, but you definitely made some good points. Excuse me. Hopefully, God, I'm not getting sick.
Gonna need this, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, no, I got that. I definitely got that. But so we can go into the next one. What do we have? Big Ten. You want to go with?
Yeah, okay, we can go with the Big Ten. The Big Ten does not have a bracket yet because they're haven't awarded a champion. I believe it's a through 2 or 3-way tie.
2 or 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me share my screen here. I can show you the standings.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if you guys brought me my
Here we go.
sanitizer.
So standings show that Wisconsin, I thought Michigan State has a chance to go for the tie today.
Mm-hmm.
Cassius Winston and Xavier Tillman. They,
Mm-hmm.
they were top ranked team at the preseason, fell out of ranking, and then got hot. Had a big win against Michigan earlier in the year, shooting the lights out. Cassius Winston's a Wooden Award finalist. The Winston Tillman duo is quite lethal. I have them winning the tournament. Although you see, Wisconsin here has been hot at home, winners of 8 straight, and they have 5 guys who can space the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably go in with a double bye, depending on what Michigan State does.
Put that back in.
I like Michigan State to win the tournament.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with Maryland, led by big man Jalen Smith. Does it all, both sides of the floor. Obviously, he can score, block shots, and I have a nice little pick and roll thing with him and Anthony Cowan.
Right.
And that kid is good. I think he averages, around 13, 14, going at the top of the dome. The one thing I do love about Maryland is their relentless defense. Which is a staple for this whole Big Ten conference. Like, everybody knows how to play defense. They're tough, scrappy. They have wins over Penn, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. Well, it's Ohio State, kind of trash anyway. But
Ohio State.
Yeah, excuse me, the Ohio State. But yeah, I'm definitely going with Maryland. These kids can ball. And if you play a stingy enough defense in the tournament, you never know how far you're going to go. So it's definitely, I will take Maryland.
Yeah, Jalen Smith is an intriguing player. He dominates the paint. He's a big defensive presence. Blocks a lot of shots, but Cowan, sets the whole thing up, as you say. I like those as players to watch in the tournament. I like Iowa's Luka Garza. He's been dominant all year. So one-man wrecking crew. He spaces the floor. He demands double and triple teams, but he still goes out and gets his numbers. Michigan, Xavier Simpson. He's an assist leader in the conference. He's Michigan has had an up and down season, but I like Michigan over there as players to watch. And Penn State's Lamar Stevens, small guard. He rebounds well, struggles to shoot a little bit, but he's a good all-around guard. He led Penn State to a great record over 20-9, I believe. So I would keep those as players to watch. Illinois fighting the lineup. Kofi Cockburn, big man there. He's been running the show over there for a little while. Wisconsin, as I said, they spaced the floor well, but I still have Michigan State winning the Big Ten.
Definitely a good one. Also, one kid I like from Michigan, I think he's kind of on the radio, was John Teskey.
Right.
I mean,
Senior.
He just seems like he's that guy you have in the middle, just solid, just, I won't say all around, doesn't do like the flashy things. He just gets down there, gets dirty for your squad. I mean, so I like it. With him and Isaiah Livers, you never know. Michigan, you might see a little, when they had Tim Hardaway.
Right.
And my man, Karis LeVert, when they made that little run, when they had they had a few big guys there. I mean, so it's definitely.
And and those two seniors there are crucial in March, because been there, done that. You won't have turnovers, and clutch free throws are what wins these championships.
Oh yeah, especially with Maryland. Cowan is a streaky shooter, so he's shooting almost 30%, and for a guard, you got to bump that up. So if he shoots poorly, they're pretty much done. But yeah, he has to he has to get to the rim, gets to the line, but his shooting gonna have to pretty much step it up, or else we'll see you later, Maryland.
We're gonna jump over to the SEC. Take a look at this bracket here. This is. Thought I had it. I said SEC, right?
Yeah, SEC.
Yep,
yeah.
Here we go. Kentucky, number 1 seed. This is such a weak conference that it's Kentucky or bust. Kentucky is in a no-win situation. They have to win this conference. They've been dominating all year. Higgins and Nick Richards, best free throw shooting team, third best free throw shooting team in college. That's crucial in tournament time. Nick Richards, 78% free throw shooter. Hagan, quickly. They have to, and that home court advantage they have. They cannot afford to blow this.
No.
I don't see any way we lose, but you know March.
Oh yeah, you just never know. Also, don't forget about Tyrese Maxey. I think he's gonna be the wild card. He's definitely someone to watch. He might be a lottery pick as well, maybe, depending. He decides to leave. But I was gonna say Kentucky, but I'm gonna go with Auburn, especially because of Okoro. I like that kid. But the one thing that scares me about them are they lost to Missouri and Georgia. And those are two of the worst teams in the conference.
They have got off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. But then Kentucky, you got to make them the favorite because of how they play come March time. They can play just half-ass ball the whole season, and then all of a sudden March comes around, Calipari gets them in the zone, and it's like that. So,
I mean, yeah, look at them yesterday. They were losing big to Florida, and they came back and, I mean, by the grace of God, won the game. But, you know, that goes at Jekyll and Hyde Kentucky team. It suffered a loss last week at home to Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee is decent, but they're nowhere on the level of Kentucky. And to suffer a home loss to an inferior opponent, it could raise some flags, but I still think the talent is way too much for them to lose.
Yeah, it's definitely there. They're not as cohesive as we've seen over the past few years, but so you never know with Maxie and then the other kid, Nate Sestina.
Yeah.
Another one. You know, if he goes off, you get that extra dunk from somewhere. You never know where it's going to take you. But SEC is like you said, it's a weak one, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, my player to watch there from Tennessee is John Folkerton. He's been we lighting it up lately. I mean, he's 6'9", he's undersized, but I mean, he can't shoot the three well, but he does a lot of other things well with the ball. He sets up his teammates. He plays hard on the glass, and you know, I think they may be able to sneak a couple of wins here. And that big win against Kentucky last week maybe catapulted them into some big things.
Yeah, with them, he reminds me of, you say Tennessee, right?
Yeah, Tennessee.
The kid they had last year, he's on the Celtics. I want to say Grant. What's his name? Grant Williams.
Yeah, Grant Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of him because he's like a big body guy. He does a lot of right things on the court. You know, he's not gonna step out and hit threes, but he's just tough. He'll get down, even though he's undersized. He's that underdog kind of guy that you watch and you root for because he's not the biggest guy, but he plays the right way. He plays hard. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. Iris Pons, he's a good standstill shooter, but you ask him to move his feet, probably won't happen that much.
Definitely not.
It's an undersized front court, but they play hard, and Kentucky, if they half-ass it most of the time, you can catch them sleeping.
Oh yeah.
Right. The Anthony Edwards from Georgia.
There you go.
A lot of consensus number one pick. I mean, it's a bad team, but it's a lot of. It's a one-man show. He can score, but I think Georgia's gonna be out real fast. Despite the star power.
Yeah, he's better start getting ready for the draft.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. It's gonna be a one-man show. All the scouts are there.
Yep.
It's gonna be a quick exit. It's gonna be a quick exit.
We've seen it. I mean, the Dermots, the Currys, these one-man shows that can bring you so far, but you face one of those big teams, game over.
Right. Looking through the comments. Thank you, James. He said he's watched a lot of Cole Anthony, and he's good, not great. I tend to agree. His decision making has to be much better. I mean, he has a lot of potential. I think he would need another year anyway. Hopefully, the incoming class and they don't get bit with the injury bug.
Mm-hmm.
But I see a bright future for him. You see, he works out with Carmelo and all the
Yes,
pros,
he
and
does.
so
Most of
there's
them,
going to be
yeah,
a lot of room for his game to grow.
absolutely. Just don't try to play hero ball like Melo did too
Yeah,
much. 4 other people on the court with you, everybody.
yeah,
But I like him. I like him. He's still gonna be a top 10 guy.
absolutely. Going to take a look over at the Pac-12.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah, I think okay. So I can. Okay, we got. With this one, no, I'm not looking down at you, Vince. We're on the same level, brother. I see you. But for the Pac-12, I'm going to go with Arizona. Top 10, top 25 offense and defense. They got their kid Zeke. I like versatile big man, 16 points a game, 56% from the field. You got potential lottery pick Nico Manning.
Mm-hmm.
They can play. And this is going to be the wild card. Josh Green. That kid is an athletic freak. Like, the dude is, I love watching him play. I mean, he can just jump out of the building. If he can get a little jumper going, he has a nice little career for him. But those 3 guys, pretty good. Andy Miller with his experience, all the problems set aside. But Arizona's a pretty good team. They beat Colorado by 21.
Yeah,
But
Colorado.
they're pretty good. You know how Colorado is. They're usually that team where they get a guard a la Chauncey Billups and just tears up the world. They're 9-5. Arizona, they're 9-5 in conference play, which isn't the best. But like I said, that experience that Miller's been through can carry this team through. But I want to see more of Nico Manning. As a Knicks fan, obviously, we want to need a lead guard, and he could be. You never know. And I'm gonna have my eyes on that kid, Nico Manning, name to watch.
I like USC winning this bracket. Jonah Matthews team record for 3-pointers made. Akagu, big man who can rim run, very athletic. He played last night against UCLA. They ran the floor with them, although they struggled to shoot a little bit. But Jonah Matthews hit the game winner at the end. Yes, I like them. Although Oregon is top ranked, Peyton Pritchard is the Wooden Award finalist. Limitless range, demands double teams. I have a feeling if he gets cold, they're going to be knocked off despite the double bye. I like USC winning. My sleeper is Arizona State. I like Arizona. I like Arizona State out there. They were hot for a stretch, and we came back to the pack a bit recently. But they got 3 players who can really shoot, really space the floor, and that's what it's all about in the college game. The zone, shooting kills the zone, and that's what made Arizona State so hot with Romello White, Remy Martin, Rob Edwards. So if they get hot again, I like Arizona State out there.
That's a good one. It's definitely a good
one. Vince, yes, we are doing we're covering the brackets for today. We have plans, if you missed earlier, to incorporate a CBS sports bracket pool, invite your friends, come in, have multiple brackets. We're going to have them for the conference tournaments and lead up to the big tournament where you can win some money. We'll have further details on that to come, but, give you some insight as far as the teams leading up to the tournament. That way you can, I could take your money without you being blind.
Lay on the ground, you've been wrong.
I'm gonna do the Big Ten Big East.
Okay. Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, the Big East is the most interesting one to me. I have Creighton winning the entire thing. Zagorowski, Tyshawn Alexander is a 2-way player who shuts down the opposing leading guard. Yesterday, he shut down Miles Powell. He's been known to shut down the leading scorer in the nation, Marcus Howard. Now, if you shut down Howard, I think they have a chance. Creighton is high-powered offensively. Damian Johnson, they're forced to be reckoned with, although they could be knocked off just as easily. They got knocked off by St. John's a couple weeks ago, or was it last week? But I have Creighton winning the entire thing. Well, this is one of the hardest ones to pick for me.
Yep. I'm going to double up on that with you. You know, that doesn't happen a lot. I'm going to double up and agree because they're efficient offense. They beat Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Arizona State. They got Big East wins over Marquette twice, Providence, and of course Seton Hall, and Nova. So they, you know, with that, that's pretty good on your resume. And, you know, McDermott, he just does the best with what he has, and it always turns into results. Creighton, I mean, that kid, like you said, he's pretty good. He's a pretty decent shooter. I mean, he always has that one big that can space the floor.
Yeah, Zborowski, killer in the mid-range. He drives to the paint well, and their shooters, as they space the floor, that's why their offense is so great.
As usual.
Another place to watch in this conference, Miles Powell from Seton Hall, Quentin McKnight, Romero Gill. The Seton Hall team is strong. I have those two in the finals, with Creighton taking it all. I also like who we have here, Providence.
Yes.
Duke, Diallo. They have wins against Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Villanova, Seton Hall. Xavier's pretty strong. They have a leading rebounder in Tyreek Jones. So this is a very hard conference to decipher because there's 4 or 5 teams that could take it.
Yeah. And they always play each other tough. That's the one thing about Big East basketball is they always put on a show. Like you've seen it last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they play each other hard, and they always have that collection of guys that play well together. And I think Creighton does it the best. But Seton Hall is a close second because I like Powell. And I would say Marquette, but they're one man game with Howard. You shut Howard down there, it's a wrap for them.
Yeah, and although one man shows have been known to win, you look at Carmelo, you look at Kemba. I don't. They usually a second player who steps up in a couple of games along the way. I don't see that second player for Marquette at all. But Marcus Howard, leading scorer, probably going to go mid to late first round. You know, his defense is questionable at best, but he can definitely put the ball in the basket. And Villanova, you never count them out. Jay Wright always has his team ready in March. Always.
Looks fresh too. Love to see.
Best suit game in the business.
Easy. Well, that's everybody. Did we cover it? Is that everything?
Big 12.
Big 12. All right. What do I have? It's pretty much a 2-horse race, Kansas and Baylor. And I'm gonna go with actually Kansas, just because of Udoka Azubuike. And they're pretty much the hottest team in the conference, and they are tough to beat. I think the only 2 games that they lost were only by like 6 points. And like I said, you go back to Azubuike, the kid's shooting like 75% from the field. So, I mean, you play like that. And plus with a coach like Bill Self, it's always game time when you're dealing with him. And don't also forget about their sophomore guard. What's his name? Oh my God. Atkinson. Yes. He's pretty good. He averages about 2 steals a game. I love him. Assists can be up a little bit, but he's a big contributor to that squad.
He spaces the floor well. He can shoot.
He can shoot, definitely. He's a legitimate National Player of the Year candidate. So, but he's quick.
Yeah, very quick.
I like him. But Kansas always seems to have like at least two guards that just ball out at any time. It's every single year. And Arizona, with that led by Bill, they can make some noise too. But that's my pick to take their conference.
I also picked Kansas, only because as a Blue Jay, big men usually win in this this tournament. And Dotson, the guard, the combo, I think will be too much for a lot of them. Although I do believe they could be knocked off by Texas Tech. Jamias Ramsey, he is a scorer. He shoots well. Texas Tech, they play everyone tough. I have them as a sleeper as well with him and Moretti. 3-point loss to Kansas and Baylor. 2-point loss to Kentucky. Ramsey can space the floor. He shoots from anywhere. Drive to the basket. If it was a sweeper to knock off Kansas, I'd take Texas Tech.
Okay. I like it. Definitely like it.
West Virginia has been pretty hot lately, and Culver picked up a few wins. They're getting hot at the right time. It may carry over to the tournament. May pick up a couple wins, but I still have Texas Tech as a sleeper. Kansas still win the entire thing. They're slated for a number 1 seed in the tournament. I don't see how they could be knocked off.
Yeah, I can't see that. I agree with. Hey, 2 times we agree with each other. Go figure.
Yeah, that's about to end real fast.
Oh yeah, game face.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely. We're in for a nice little college tournament as usual.
Yeah. March usually brings out some stars, leads to the draft stock rising or falling. You look at Kemba, his stock rose a bit. And college championships are one of the easiest tickets to get into the Hall of Fame. You have that college championship on your resume, it puts you right above a fringe player, so to say. That's why I think Carmelo gets in.
Oh, he's gonna have most prolific scorer one of the most prolific scorers in history. Yeah, he gets in. It's not even. He goes in with the Banana Boat crew.
Speaking of a Banana Boat crew, in some Knicks news, some rumors. Chris Paul has been rumored to be going to the Knicks, be inquiring about for the Knicks to be acquiring Chris Paul in the offseason. Long search for a guard. They've been searching for one forever. In light of the recent comments with Spike Lee, whatnot, what are your thoughts on acquiring Chris Paul?
I like it. He brings. He's 30. He'll be 35, but he still brings that star potential. The contract scares me, but if you're going to keep Frank around, he needs someone like Chris Paul, and he's doing wonders for Alexander, SGA. He's doing just seeing him on the floor, how he communicates with him. When they are sitting on a bench, he's usually talking to him, letting him know how to read the game, how he should go about it. And even with, SGA being a off guard, he helps him out a lot. He's making 45 for the next 2 years after that, but I'll take a flyer on him. I mean, you never know. You need someone there that people are going to say, okay, can I come here and play with this guy? And he's still playing on a high level, 17 points a game, almost 7 assists per game. He plays great defense still. It doesn't seem like he's lost a step, and he's staying healthy.
Yeah.
And that's CP3's MO for the past few years. He hasn't been, but I'm actually on board with this. And if I can run to the Spike Lee thing, I'm gonna do this. I told you I was going to have to do this. Now, the whole story was that Spike Lee's been going into the employee entrance, for 28 years. I get that. But, I used to work for the Mets, and I used to work for the Diamond Club. I work in the Diamond Club entrance. That's what usually, between that and the front door, that's where those people went in. Diamond Club, front door. That's like a VIP entrance. Spike, you are, I'm pretty sure he's a millionaire, multi-million for all his movies and stuff. Dude, why are you making such a big deal out of this? I mean, I got mad at it first, but I'm thinking, they have a VIP entrance. Go in it. You making up, are you going to arrest me like my brother Oakley? Here we go. Let's not make it, we're already a shit show. The Knicks are a shit show. Let's pile more manure onto it, cover it up with a little bit of diamond, and what do you think is going to happen? It's still going to smell like shit. But it's just, I didn't like the whole thing. Just, dude, and then the whole Dolan, he shook my hand. It was fabricated. While you both went to each other. If you didn't want that to happen, I'm pretty sure you have better access than Jacob Moses or Leon Tompkins to go talk to James Dolan. You could have did that in his office, or like some way. Let me talk to you, Jim. Okay, let's hash it out before it gets out. But no, you have to go on First Take and blah 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 blah. He's not selling the team. The team is worth $4.6 billion. You could be any Joe Small in the street can see that you're not selling that team, no matter how bad they are. I might hate Dolan. You probably hate Dolan, even though you're a Nets fan. $4.6 billion, you're not walking away from that. I don't care who you are. There's no possible way. But it was just bad taste for him to go on First Take, feeding into Max, feeding into Stephen A. Even Molly, she was just looking at him like, here we go. Just as a Knicks fan, dude, shut up. But I guarantee you're still going to go to the games. I'm not going to any other games this year, but you're going to take your ass there next year, right? Absolutely. I bet you're going to see over there clapping. Especially if you get like a CP or somebody like that. I bet you, let's go, Knicks all day. Just certain ways things are handled for the Knicks organization is sickening. But he didn't make it any better. Talk to him privately. That's the one thing about New York. If I'm in that position, I'm talking to them privately. I'm not bringing it out. We already know the Knicks are a shit show. You're just making it worse for the team and trying to acquire, stars for the future or just anybody remotely thinking of going there. Started with Oakley. Main reason KD didn't go there was because of that, because him and Oakley are pretty close. I didn't really want KD, but, that puts in the back of my mind that nobody's going to come here because you think the owner is going to kick your boys out. And besides that and the KP thing, anyway, another story. I'm not going to talk about KP right now. It still kind of bothers me. But other than that, it's still a shit show. Will it change under Leon Rose? I'm not sure. I hope it does, but there's my little rant. But we can get a nice coach in there. I'm kind of sour on Miller since the whole Kenny Jackson thing, which I'm going to flip over to you with him getting let go. I really hope Leon Rose on the phone because Atkinson was a CAA agent. I mean, he's a CAA, he's under that umbrella. Yeah, he's a client. Thank you. Be on the phone with him. He's a team builder. Great coach from what I've seen. I thought players liked him, apparently not, but I'm going to let you take that one.
Yeah, about that. So you mentioned Spike Lee and his relationship with Dolan. You don't see other celebrities in the game as far like Drake. He gets along with the owner. Usher's a part owner of the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Timberlake's a part owner of the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of these celebrities. They get. I mean, they may get special treatment with the owner because they bring publicity and there's a face to the franchise. The Knicks seem to be the only team to just seem to just shy away from their history and just ostracize everyone that plays for them.
I'm doing something.
You look at Oakley, you look at Ewing,
Rachel's coming home.
and then so you mentioned the Knicks and the Nets.
Ask Alicia.
And then the Nets. One of my theories is that Joseph Tsai led to the Atkinson firing.
Mm-hmm.
the players, Kyrie came in with a baggage. KD came in with baggage. Snake, backstabber, as Kyrie is put in. Hearing rumors of Tyronn Lue coming in. I want no parts of Tyronn Lue, but Atkinson, they said, was known to be stubborn in his ways, and to a degree, I agree with that. It's a lot of 3-point shooting, but they were heavily analytically based. They didn't believe in mid-range shots. They tried to take D'Angelo Russell out of his game by discouraging mid-range shots, but that's the strength of his game. The foul line pull-up. You look at Kyrie Irving. What's the strength of his game? Mid-range pull-up.
Mid-range, yep.
Isolation. KD, Kyrie, they're isolation players.
Mid-range. KD could space it too.
Yeah, and as far as having the right pieces in the right places, a lot of times their offense stalled because they just weren't in the right place. So when you saw that 51-point outburst in Boston, mind you, they were down by 20 the entire game. And you look at losses to Atlanta and Washington, which I think finally did them in, as they were saying his voice no longer held weight in the locker room. That's probably Kyrie and KD going to the players, going to the owner, who apparently the owner has been talking to the players behind Kenny's back. So you look, the system isn't working. We need this, we need that. That's why Kyrie going out and said 20 games in, well, we need more people. We need more pieces. We got to look at the coaching. You didn't think of the comment at the time, but it's pretty telling. So back in August, when Cy bought the team and they played their exhibition games in China, Kyrie kind of had a fit. He was discouraged, had a feud with the team, and then they hired a CEO. 2 weeks later, he's let go, mutually parting ways. You look at the Atkinson firing, mutually parting ways, although I believe that actually was mutual. And then you hear reports of Atkinson not being fond of coaching KD and Kyrie, which I could believe. His system is built for equal opportunity shooting. It encourages players to shoot. That's why he's a player development coach. Superstars, they want the ball. He might have had a unwillingness to adapt, and they were the worst fourth quarter shooting team in the game. They had trouble closing out games. This is the reason why they have KD and Kyrie to close out games. They did Kenny wrong. They talk a lot about the culture and changing the team.
The whole bag.
The whole firing just didn't sit right with me, and Kenny won't have trouble finding work. I believe he'll probably end up in Cleveland or with the Knicks. He's a point guard guru. He meshes well with point guard. He thinks highly of Frank Ntilikina.
I was going to bring that. That was a good point. I was going to bring that up. He said he single-handedly against the Nets helped them and kind of shut the whole game down. And as you've seen with Frank, we know what he can do on the defensive side. But if he can unlock that potential on the offensive side, which he doesn't have a broken shot, nice little form there. His confidence is getting there, but he can help him like he pretty much did for Russell and turned him into a complete point guard. We might be on something, but you have somebody like Chris Paul. That's what kind of worries me. If you do get a guy like Chris Paul, but he's more team-oriented too. He'll take the jumper, but he usually makes the
Chris Paul is about Chris Paul. He's about getting his numbers. He'll say he's team-oriented, but, you look at him with Blake, you look at him with DeAndre Jordan, and you look at him with James Harden.
Well, it's kind of hard to work with James Harden anyway, probably. As a guard.
Yeah. So you look at this OKC team, it's a bunch of young guys that are gonna listen to him. So, he might have some weight. If he goes to, the Knicks, Kenny Atkinson goes there, I don't think
Mm.
he wants to run into the same problem that he would run into with Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a veteran guard. I know what I'm doing here. This system really
Mhm.
doesn't work because he's a mid-range guy too.
Oh yeah.
That's his game.
Mm-hmm.
And threes and layups. That's what the Nets were all about. And at times it was very frustrating because they were a very cold team,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't take enough layups. They didn't get to the line, and when they got to the line, they shot poorly. So Jock Vaughn is in there. Apparently, he has a strong relationship with Kyrie, and that's why he was tapped as the interim.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the list of candidates for the replacement, Mark
Thibodeau.
Jackson.
Or
I
Jackson.
want no parts of Thibodeau. No parts of him either.
I don't play defense anyway, so you don't need him.
No. And I mean Stan Van Gundy, but it hurt the way they did it. But I kind of think it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Mark Jackson was let go. Steve Kerr came in. They won a championship.
Exactly.
Dwayne Casey was let go. Nick Nurse comes in. He wins a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Collins, Phil Jackson. So they may be on to something, but the idea that you have this image of building up a culture and all is right with the world, and you're taking shots at the Knicks, yet you go around and do the same thing that the Knicks were doing.
Exactly.
Firing Fizdale, mid-season, no warning. They did a whole Willie Randolph thing. Let's fly him out to
California
and fire him.
Yep.
The image looks bad. It makes Kyrie look like a jerk all over again. His whole season was to repair his image.
Mm-hmm. Didn't work.
Yeah, so I mean, I still think KD is going to come back for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But this just leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I just wasn't a fan. Also, I know you guys had. I didn't want KD and Kyrie. It was a reason that I was not gonna pay for KD to rehab. I have a big problem with that. Like, if you're gonna play like 2-year deal, whatever, 1-on-1, see what you can do, but paying him that much money, then with Kyrie, it made everybody. I know guys are like, I think you're the only Net fan that I've seen that's so even keeled about it. Like, it's nice. Oh yeah, we're playing for next year, but it's a Nick-like thing. Oh, we're playing for this year. We're playing for this year. But when you play for next year, you still got who are you gonna beat? Like the Bucks? You ain't beating the Bucks. I'm sorry.
No.
Like, how far are you gonna go with? You got the Bucks. Yeah, I'll say you'll be like maybe a 3 or 4 in the East. But how's KD gonna come back? How's Kyrie gonna come back? Remember, he only played 20 games, so he's gonna have to revamp that up again after getting surgery. KD is gonna be. I think he's gonna be a little bit timid coming off that Achilles injury. But other than that, you might have a 2-year window. So you paid all that money for a 2-year window? I mean, you guys had a good thing going. Like, you had D'Angelo. They had a nice little team atmosphere, but you needed that guy to get you over. I think it was more KD, fine, Kyrie. Maybe we made a mistake on that one.
My initial reaction to getting KD was it's nice. I wish Kyrie wasn't attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big believer in keeping Russell and bringing in Tobias Harris. I mean, Tobias Harris isn't KD, but he's a nice player. I think he would develop nicely into the closer, as you can see what he's doing for Philly right now with Embiid and Simmons out being the main guy. So that chemistry I thought was important. I understand the star factor. I think the Nets sold their soul for Kyrie.
Again, that sounds real familiar. Didn't they do a little bit of thing in 2000 with KG, Paul Pierce, Darren Wood? I mean, it looks so familiar.
Yeah, I have a strange feeling it's going to go down that road, but I think the GM in place is going to stop all that. Billy King, no. Sean, I believe Sean Horn. The ownership scares me a little because I think he's too heavily involved. But I still think they get a championship in the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's possible. Definitely possible. Do I want to see it? but it's possible.
Nah. And
I
the Knicks.
think I've seen another. I think I've seen enough of a lifetime for rivals winning championships. Anyway.
That's coming real soon.
Anyway, we'll see.
Some more news in the league. Steph Curry returned last Thursday, dropped 23 in about 20 minutes, 6 boards, 7 assists. Out last night with the flu, which you hope is the flu. And Warriors won last night against Philly with Damian Lee dropping 24. We had a nice comeback win against Philly last night. Rockets losing to the Hornets. Rockets with no Westbrook. Harden with a quadruple double.
Still shouldn't have lost.
No, the quadruple double was the turnovers. Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, 25, 23 apiece, 6 assists. Hornets been playing a bit better recently. Their guards starting to show out. Miles Bridges. What else?
Don't forget the big signing in the NBA. Clippers signing Joakim Noah. Big signing right there.
No, I think the Clippers are just out to fight. They're not out to play basketball. They're just getting a bunch of MMA guys. Noah, he's not going to knock down a free throw. He's just out there to throw an elbow, give 6 fouls, and tag team with Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, they needed some more size because I love Harrell, but he's gonna get killed down there. He's tough as he can be, but he can't take that beating throughout the regular season, and then in the playoffs, he can't play 35, 40 minutes. You gotta have somebody in there. Noah, he's playoff tested. He needs them, and plus bring all the players you can because of the low management, and they're probably going tank the rest of the season for the most part just to get into the playoffs and then roll from there.
Yeah. Lakers beating the Bucks Friday night. Anthony Davis took over in the fourth quarter. Giannis struggled in the fourth. He was 10 for 10 from the free throw line until he finally ran out of gas. DiVincenzo, Eric Bledsoe kind of helped him out a bit, but Chris Middleton was off. Lakers with a huge win in LA. It was star-studded there. Snoop Dogg out, Kevin Hart out, Michael B. Jordan out. They showed out for that game in the look of a finals preview. It was Giannis guarded LeBron quite often though.
LeBron got a block on him if I saw it right. But big news out of that is Giannis getting an MRI on his knee.
Yeah, he landed on Avery Bradley in the fourth. Figures Avery Bradley's under someone, so
got to do something now.
Yeah,
that could be big. How he plays, something with knee, anything with knee would scare the hell out of me, especially with not only his caliber of his game, which is getting to the rim, and if he has to rely on his jump shot.
yeah, they'll be in a load of trouble. And that's why Chris Middleton is huge.
And also, going back to the Bucks, I would have got Brogdon back. I'm sorry, I would not have let him go because he added another little dimension because he could shoot as well. But I don't know what happened.
They couldn't pay him.
Man, that just
they couldn't pay him.
Man, that definitely was big.
But Brogdon appears to have a injury-prone problems himself because now he's out for a couple of weeks with his leg.
Yeah, actually, and I just saw that just popped up. Man. Oh, you're right, actually. Yeah, the Bucks might be in I don't know. It might be a who can take over in the East kind of thing, huh? If that happens,
it might be Toronto's time to pounce.
Other news: Sacramento beat Portland, and nobody cared about that.
That race for the 8th spot is heating up a bit.
It's tightening.
I think Nurkic is supposed to be back in a week or so.
That's going to be a nice one for them because they need him.
Yeah.
But they need Lillard to get healthy first and foremost too. But he's been out for how many weeks has he been out now?
About 3.
Yeah,
about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I haven't seen that dude in a bit. Well, we got the Grizzlies. They beat Atlanta by 17.
Listen, the Grizzlies have been whipping on everybody lately, and
Yeah.
and that's the game I think did Kenny in. I
Uh,
mean, they were down by 40. Looked like they gave up, and you saw the Grizzlies doing a net celebration on the bench. So
yeah, that kind of.
totally disrespectful. I mean, you beat someone by 40, you deserve it.
For the Grizzlies, that's what they do though. They tried it with the Knicks, and for Peyton wasn't having that. Have to check somebody. That made me happy.
Yeah,
Like, wow.
Grizzlies just disrespecting the league, not respecting their elders. They out here dissing Iguodala. But I might be wrong on them holding that 8th spot. I might be wrong on them not. Yeah. John Morant crossed up Vince Carter last night.
Yeah, that wasn't even fair. That was funny.
Yeah. John Morant.
The rookie of the year.
I don't know. Zion makes the playoffs. I think he gets it.
He
gets it. I think whoever gets that 8th spot gets rookie of the year.
It's plausible, but I can't see it because he missed so much time. That wouldn't be fair to Ja if he was doing it all year. And Zion, yes, he has, he's averaging 20 and 7 and getting his double-doubles, but that's not fair to Ja. He got to be the clear-cut winner. Just can't. I'm not a fan, but, who knows? Also, Trae Young can't be shooting 25% from the field and expect the team to do anything.
Nah. Going back to Spike for a bit, it's funny that the next morning, your man goes out, finds a TV camera, and tells this story to anybody who will listen. Anybody who knows Spike's story, that's what he's going to do. He's looking for a camera, looking for for a shoulder to cry on, and Stephen A. Smith just happened to be the guy. And Stephen A. Smith, he's just an enabler.
He's looking at him, looking all back like this. Like, yeah, man, this is great. Great for us right now. And I'm just like, boy, here we go.
And it figures Dolan would kick somebody out, because that's what Dolan does. You look at the other celebrities around the league who represent the teams, they don't do that. The only celebrity I know who got kicked out was Lizzo. And that's because, she had her bare ass on a seat.
Yeah, that's something different. And like she's a little bit, wild for me. You gotta carry yourself away certain places. I understand you think you're a bad bitch and all this other nonsense, how the man hating shit, but anyway, that's another story.
No, she's talented and all, but
yeah, absolutely. I love the talent, but she's a little bit too fucking wild. Like, calm your ass down. What's wrong with you? Excuse my language, but
sanitizer.
That's it.
That's it.
Got it. Lysol in there.
Jimmy Buffett doesn't get that treatment. Doesn't get that treatment.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. It's just wrong. And I think both parties are wrong, but by the end of the day, they'll be back to where they were before.
Absolutely, but you still also don't see everybody in those carrying on. They stay in their seats and they, converse at the game and not the owners and stuff like that. And that's another thing too. That's the one thing I like about Mark Cuban. He's like involved, but he's mostly, you'll see him in the back somewhere, and the camera will find like actually catch him. You'll see him throw this guy out. That's the one thing I do love about Mark Cuban. He's involved, but he doesn't, make it all about him.
Right.
It's about his team. Shout out to Mark Cuban.
Retired Kobe's number.
See? I mean.
Yeah, man of the people.
Yeah, exactly. We need somebody like that.
So we're going to send out the link for the CBS Sports app. If you have an account, you can come in and invite your friends, invite people to the group. We're going to have a bigger tournament for some money, $5 a bracket, hopefully get as many brackets as you can in. But for this tournament bracket, you can pick for the 6 conferences: ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and the Pac-12 and the Big East. Hopefully you can take the information, make some picks, get some practice going, and have some fun.
Oh yeah, Let's join it, people. Let's test your knowledge. Come on, everybody.
Yeah,
Click that link.
yeah, man. It's no fun taking your money if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. Well, sometimes it is free call, free money. You know, you don't get that in the world these days.
No, you don't.
Take that.
So
But
end on that.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything you want to get off your chest there?
Let's see. Spike, shut your ass up. Let's see. What else? Dolan, sit your ass down on your seat and make your money. Stop kicking people out. You know, stop making us already look like a joke, more than a joke than what we are. I mean, they're actually trying to build something there, and you take freaking a step forward, take 2 steps back. I mean, it was looking good. You're like, oh, yeah, the Knicks might be on to something. Oh, Spike Lee. Oh, Lord, here we go. And that's the wrong person you really want to, ruffle his feathers. But Lord knows you have some, besides the sell the team things and kicking people out, that pisses me off, by the way. Don't, listen, I'm pretty sure the Wilpons have been crossover. I'm pretty sure the Wilpons have been here and sell a team for Lord knows how long. You don't see them going, get out. Oh, he talking. Get out. It's called freedom of speech, guy. People pay $500, $600 tickets. You know, they can say whatever the hell they want. As long as it's not threatening to you, your family, or any other fans around you, they can't sell the team. I mean, you'll get over it. Stop being so soft. SAWFT, soft. Another crossover. But yeah, it's looking forward to March Madness. Should be fun. There's gonna be a lot of upsets. A lot of brackets gonna be busted. NBA, we got the playoffs rapidly approaching. Should be fun.
20 games left.
Yep, a lot of young stars coming in and having big impacts on playoff games. This is the future. It's now. You know, LeBron trying to run for another MVP, he already cemented his legacy, but he's trying to do it in another state as it is. I mean, Miami, he did it at home. Now he's going to the big lights of LA. He's trying to carry it home with AD. This is
Waiters.
Yep. You better keep away from the edibles. But yeah, this is good. This is good for the league. You know, this is what this is about. And Leon, you're doing good things. Look at you hosting. We wanted to bring basketball back out into the light. And I think we're doing that. Just everybody getting honest. I'll say this now. Everybody get involved. We want to hear you talking. You know, we post up things. We like the interaction. I'm usually available, even at work. Sometimes if I, can sit my ass down for once, I'll definitely respond to everything. We want more interaction. It's been good, but we want to see more posting, conversations. Let's get it going. Let's get Ballers Life. Let's get it big. Let's get it as big as baseball. Right, Blake? Mm-hmm. Right. What you do to your hair, B?
I combed it.
You combed it? Yeah, comb your hair. I surely don't have any.
There's our future Ballers Life member right there.
Yep, there we go. Right, Blake? You gonna run the Ballers Life admin thing? Yeah. Are you gonna run it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My man. Yeah. My parting words. I appreciate the high interaction in the group. Hopefully, this bracket will bring in some life and bring in some new people. I enjoy the conversations that I have here with my buddy, and hopefully we can keep this going. And because Brooklyn is not looking good.
Making my borough look bad, man.
Yeah. Come out for March Madness. Enter your brackets. Post a link up on the page. Invite your people. And have some fun.
Yes, sir.
So for this episode of Stepback, we'll see you next week. More than likely after Selection Sunday.
Oh, definitely.
We'll post a time up on the page.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you updated.
Absolutely.
But I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Leon Tompkins. And
Jacob Moses. Let's go, Duke. Hey.
Thank you. And we're out.
Get out of here.